Hello students, in the previous video we discussed about ammonia and its properties, reactions, preparation, etc. Now we are starting nitric acid. So today first thing is we will study about how we can prepare nitric acid. So keep on. Preparation of nitric acid. How to prepare nitric acid? So we know nitric acid has the formula HNO3. HNO3. This is the formula of nitric acid. And it is formed in nature. Nature also produces nitric acid. Example, during lightning discharge. You know, lightning discharge produces very high temperature. And atmosphere, as we know, contains nitrogen and oxygen. Both are present in the atmospheric air. So due to the high temperature, these two gases combine, forming NO, that is nitric oxide. This is called nitric oxide, or otherwise known as nitrogen monoxide. Nitrogen monoxide. So this gas is produced when nitrogen combines with oxygen during lightning discharge. Now nitrogen dioxide is formed further because the reaction does not stop here. Nitric oxide formed combines with oxygen of the atmosphere. Oxygen is available in the air. So it will form nitrogen dioxide. NO2 is formed. This is nitrogen dioxide. Okay. Then the nitrogen dioxide is highly soluble in water. You know, just after the lightning discharge, there will be rain. So the nitrogen dioxide can combine with water, rainwater. So what is obtained? A mixture of two acids, HNO2 plus HNO3. So you can balance the reaction, HNO2 plus HNO3. So this is nitrous acid. HNO2 is nitrous acid. HNO3 is nitric acid. So these two mixture of two acids are formed. And there is another reaction happening simultaneously, that is nitrogen dioxide combines with water and oxygen also combines along. Oxygen is present in air, we know. So it also combines along. So what you get here now is directly nitric acid. So nitric acid, this reaction also happens. So we balance it this way, 2 and 4. So nitric acid is obtained. So this is natural way of forming nitric acid. The nitric acid formed in nature in the rainwater comes to the ground, reacts with minerals in the soil and produce nitrates. The nitrates are fertilizers, or they provide essential nutrients for plants to grow. Now, how do we get this nitric acid from nitrate? So another source of nitric acid is the nitrate. Nitrate is the salt of nitric acid, because the nitric acid reacts with minerals in the ground, the nitric acid that comes from the rain. And so you have nitrates in the soil. The very common nitrates obtained in large quantities are, one is called the Chile saltpeter. Chile saltpeter is a country. Chile is a country where you get this Chile saltpeter, sodium nitrate. The other one is Bengal saltpeter, which is potassium nitrate. So these are the two common nitrates which are available in large quantities and also cheap. So these nitrates can be used for preparation of nitric acid in the laboratory. Now in the laboratory, the reactants need to be cheaper and also widely available. The method should be simple. That is why these methods are used. So in the laboratory, we prepare nitric acid from either potassium nitrate or from sodium nitrate. And these nitrates are reacted with concentrated sulfuric acid. A displacement reaction takes place. Concentrated nitric acid reacts with these salts, these nitrates, and a displacement reaction takes place. Now the question that we need to understand before we proceed is, why is concentrated nitric acid preferred? Now the reason is the other acids available is hydrochloric acid is one acid. Hydrochloric acid is volatile. It is a volatile acid. What do you mean by volatile acid? Volatile acid means it has low boiling point. Low boiling point. What does it indicate? It means that if you heat the substances in the test tube, the volatile acid will vaporize out and it will go away. So the reaction cannot proceed. Why? We have potassium nitrate or sodium nitrate, which are ionic compounds. They do not dissociate at low temperatures. They need high temperatures. So when you mix potassium nitrate with hydrochloric acid and heat, what will happen? Before potassium nitrate could decompose, what happens is hydrochloric acid will go as vapor. So it is a volatile acid and cannot be used for the preparation of nitric acid. The another acid that we have is nitric acid itself. Now there is no point of using nitric acid for the preparation of nitric acid. So this is also out of question. So the only acid we have is sulfuric acid, H2SO4, which has a higher boiling point. It is a less volatile acid. Less volatile acid, or we can say non-volatile acid. Non-volatile acid, which means a high boiling point. High boiling point. Its boiling point is above 300 degrees Celsius. So it is quite a high boiling point. And we heat a potassium nitrate with concentrated sulfuric acid. You must write concentrated under the H2SO4. And this temperature is less than 200 degrees Celsius. The first reaction here is less than 200. So we get KHSO4, potassium hydrogen sulfate and nitric acid. So this HNO3, nitric acid. So this is what is obtained here. Now the second one is when we heat it above 200 degrees Celsius. The temperature is above 200 degrees Celsius. Here we get potassium sulfate and HNO3. This is nitric acid. HNO3 is nitric acid. So you have 2 HNO3, 2 KNO3. Okay, here it is only 1 HNO3 and 1 KNO3. Both way, the reactions are similar, but except the product, the other product form, potassium hydrogen sulfate and potassium sulfate. This is formed. Okay. So nitric acid is obtained in both the reactions. One is in less than 200 degrees Celsius. The other one is above 200 degrees Celsius. Now, the reactants are taken in the ratio 1:1. 1:1 means the first reaction is preferred. Here 1 KNO3 with 1 H2SO4. In the second one 2 KNO3 with 1 H2SO4. So the 1:1 ratio will give us the first reaction, this product. Okay, what is the reason? The temperature here, temperature is carefully controlled. Carefully controlled to stay around or below 200 degrees Celsius, below 200 degrees Celsius or around 200 degrees Celsius. Temperature should not be allowed to rise above 200 degrees Celsius. What will happen if temperature rises above 200 degrees Celsius? The second reaction will take place. So K2SO4 is formed, which we want to avoid. K2SO4 should be avoided. Should be avoided. Why? Why should we avoid this? Because if K2SO4 is formed, it will stick to the glass apparatus. Stick to the glass apparatus. Why will it stick to the glass apparatus? Because it is a poor conductor of heat. It will stick to the glass apparatus, so heat is not transferred inside. So heat accumulates at the bottom of the flask. The flask can break. So the glass apparatus can break. That is the reason why we do not allow the temperature to go above 200 degrees Celsius. So to avoid the formation of K2SO4, and K2SO4 sticks to the glass apparatus as it is a poor conductor of heat, and therefore heat accumulates at the bottom of the flask. Heat is not transferred, and so the bottom expands. The remaining part of the flask is not expanding, so it will break, so leading to an accident. So this should be avoided. I think you understood this. Let us go and discuss the apparatus now. The apparatus is shown here. Here you have a glass retort. The glass retort, this complete container with a long snout. It has got a snout, a trunk, like a trunk of an elephant. It has a long mouth which goes out, and there is a lid on top here. You can see the lid can be opened to pour contents in, and then it is kept over a stand and a burner. And there is a receiver, another flask kept in the other side, which is called a receiver, because it will receive the vapors that is coming in. Okay, and then there is a condensing system, condenser and receiver. What is a condensing system here? Tap water flowing on top of this flask, which will cool down the contents, the vapors, so that the vapors liquefy, and the overflowing water is collected on a funnel and it goes to the sink. So this is the setup. Okay, so what happens here, when you heat the retort, the glass retort, the reaction takes place, the reaction that we discuss, KNO3 reacting with corn H2SO4 producing KHSO4 and HNO3, and the HNO3 vapors, nitric acid vapors, come through the snout of the glass retort, reach here, and this area, because we are cooling, so the vapors will condense to form liquid form of nitric acid here. Nitric acid is formed here. So this is the setup. Now one thing to note here is an all glass apparatus is used. What is all glass apparatus? Completely made up of glass. All glass apparatus means completely made up of glass. Why we need completely made up of glass apparatus? Because the vapors of nitric acid are highly corrosive. Corrosive means it will attack and damage. The meaning of corrosive: attacks and damages. Please, these are the important words to note. The vapors of nitric acid would attack and damage what all things? Rubber, cork, wood, or any such other materials used in the laboratory. That means we can use only glass. We cannot use any other material. So that is why the complete apparatus is made up of glass. So this can be a question. Why is an all glass apparatus used? Because the vapors of nitric acid are highly corrosive and it attacks and damages the rubber, cork, or wood, or any other material used except glass. So we use an all glass apparatus. I think that is clear. Let's go to the next part. Now the product obtained in this reaction. The product is nitric acid, we know. But what is the concentration? About 50% concentrated nitric acid is obtained in this reaction. So the receiver collects the nitric acid, which is 50% concentrated. Now we need to understand one more thing. Pure nitric acid is colorless. When it is prepared, it is colorless. But commercial nitric acid has yellowish brown tinge. What is commercial nitric acid? Nitric acid purchased from the market. When it is purchased, it comes to the lab in a bottle and you open, it will sometime have yellow color. Why is this yellow color coming? It is because concentrated nitric acid is unstable. This is something that you must note. Con nitric acid is unstable. It decomposes. It decomposes even at ordinary temperatures. Ordinary temperatures. Okay. So how does it decompose? HNO3 splits to give water and nitrogen dioxide and oxygen. Three things are formed here. You can balance it like this. Okay. 4HNO3, 2H2O, 4NO2 plus O2. So this nitrogen dioxide formed is a reddish brown gas which remains dissolved. You must understand the complete acid is not decomposing. Only some molecules in the entire acid decompose, giving NO2, which is giving the color, the reddish brown color. As it remains dissolved in the liquid nitric acid, the color becomes light or it may have a brownish tinge, depending on concentration of nitrogen dioxide produced. So this is the reason for the yellow color of nitric acid. So a question can be asked, pure nitric acid is colorless, but commercial nitric acid has yellow color. Why? Or nitric acid stored in the laboratory has color. Why? When pure nitric acid is colorless. Okay. So this is great because of the formation of nitrogen dioxide due to the decomposition of a few molecules of the acid. Now how can we remove the color? Now removing color is chemically not important, but if you want to remove, you can do three things. Number one is dilution. If it is diluted with water, dilution means adding water. Okay, adding water. So what happens? The gas form NO2 formed will dissolve in it, so the color goes. Second one is passing oxygen through it. Passing O2 gas, oxygen gas passed. So if the oxygen is lost due to decomposition, we supply oxygen. So it will recombine forming nitric acid. So the color is lost. The third thing is to bubble CO2. Bubble CO2 through the acid. So you can pass carbon dioxide gas, or carbon dioxide being heavy gas, it's a heavy gas, it will drive out the NO2. It will escape into the air, so the solution will not have NO2, the color is lost. So it becomes colorless once again. So that is how you can remove the color of the commercial nitric acid. Even though it is chemically not necessary, the reactions will not change due to the color. So that is something that you can understand. So students, I hope you understood how we can prepare nitric acid and the quality of the product obtained 50% concentrated nitric acid. If you have queries, please write in the comment section. You can subscribe the channel and like it. Thank you.